Hello and welcome to my EMC Storage Integrator High Availability Extension webcast. I would like to demonstrate right now how easy it is to fail over databases with EMC's ESI and the High Availability Extension, as well as demonstrate how remote failover works. So in essence, you see here my Exchange environment. I have 4 database servers, HVE 2013 REE1 to REE4. The odd sites are my primary location and the even servers are my secondary location. So all are running with the latest Exchange 2013 CU5. And as you can see here, if I do something like a server switch over and specify another server, like this one here, this will reject it from failing it over because Exchange detects that there's the Exchange third-party replication API active. So I say close here and cancel out of this. For the database availability group, you see here, this is my database availability group. It has a witness server called ESI host. And again, those 4 servers make up the database availability group. Now, to manage ESI and the high availability extension, we have an MMC built into the EMC Storage Integrator framework as well as a PowerShell. Let's right now focus on the MMC plugin. The MMC plugin also that it can control normal databases. This is a Exchange 2013 database availability group with native replication, where we can add mailbox database copies, mount, dismount databases, create mailbox databases. We have the same for the high availability extension. However, there are some differences within the high availability extension. So on the first tab, we see our mailbox servers and the database. The servers have an access to a replicated database and where they are currently mounted and which is the database path and log folder path. If we go on to the database view itself, we can go to the database availability group, drag down to each and every server and database, and can see the details for each database. Now, as you might have read in my blog, if we use the EMC High Availability Extension, we can survive with only 2 copies of data, but connect them to like 4 or 6 servers. So we have 2 servers on the local side. They both share the same LAN. It's on the VNX 5300C, and it's the LAN number 46, and it's the database LAN, and we have the same for a log LAN. So there's a log LAN with 100 gig and it's the ID 47. For the remote array, it's the same. We are sitting on the array VNX 5300D, which is my remote side. And both servers on the remote side, so the even servers, share the same LAN. It's the LAN 28. And it's the LAN 29 for the logs. So this is in essence the storage side configuration of Exchange. Normally we don't need to dig deeper into it, so that's everything we need to know. And we have the database availability group itself. Again, a summary of the versions, so it's pretty similar to what the UI, the web EMC the EAC will give us. So we have the same in this MMC, but we also have the possibility to disable the remote Exchange failover or update the extension. Means when I add a new server or something happened to my environment like a disaster, I can update the configuration when storage config has changed. So for the normal procedure, there's something where we like to, currently the database is sitting on node 1 and it's active. We would like to have a failover to the second node, which is also the activation preference number 2, and it's an odd node which is on my primary side. So what I'm essentially doing here is a failover from one server of the same LAN to the second server. We do so by integrating into the database availability group and the cluster. So we have those drives in the cluster sitting on the nodes. Currently those drives are online at HVE 2013 REE1, so they are available on the first node. If I now do a failover or activate the mailbox on REE3, which is the secondary local node, I run through a wizard that asks me, do you want to do this? This is a short summary, what's being done. So the database is activated on REE3. I say yes, and it's going to be activated. So we can go to a task list. What we're just doing is we're taking the cluster resource offline and remount it on the other node. That means the cluster on node 3 will take over the database and remount the database resource itself. Right now the exchange side of the mount is going on. Afterwards we are refreshing the whole configuration for our internal database that tracks the where all those exchange resources are, in order to refresh that screen. This is normal. This is like in PowerShell, where you always have to get current configuration before you do something to the config. If we right now switch back to the cluster admin, you can see right now the owner node is REE3. So that was the simple part. It was just a failover from the local side to another node on the local side. Gets this information, he refreshes something, and then he is finished. Okay, that's the easy part. Right now, if my primary side would go down, we have to fail over to a remote side. So the first node on the remote side would be from my activation preference server REE2. So it's the first even server, and it has the activation preference of 3. Sitting on the remote array on the system D, replicated by recoverpoint, and it's going to be LAN 28 for the database. So the same process here as well. We click activate mailbox database. However, before we do so, let me move that screen a little bit to the side and keep it focused on this activation here. We open up another window. This window is our recoverpoint UI. recoverpoint here is responsible for replicating the data from the primary side, from our production side, to the remote side. Also here from the odd side, which is C, to the even side, which is D. So we are replicating from C to D, from server 1 and 3 to server 2 and 4. We don't give much attention right now here on what we can do, apply bookmarks, add copy, all that stuff. The Exchange admin normally wouldn't touch this. What I want to show you right now is how this replication window flips as we fail over the database. So I jump into that window back here and say activate mailbox database. So a short summary: you want to activate the mailbox database REEDB1 on server HVE 2013 REE2. It's currently not active. I say yes, I want to do it. Just a short summary. And now again we flip to the details tab. Now this failover will take a little bit longer. We first take down the cluster resource group. After we've done it, we will enable image access at the remote side. You see here it flipped to locked access. That means the remote servers have access to those resources, to those storage resources that we replicated. We will activate the disks in the cluster. Once it's activated in the cluster and mounted the database, we will redistribute the replication from site D to site A. As you can see now, primary location has swapped. We are now running the production on RPAD on the remote side, on the even side, and we are synchronizing to the old odd side, which is the RPAC. So right now production role is on the remote side. We could also flip into the cluster admin for this, just to make sure here it's running on HVE 2013 REE2. However, the storage admin, the Exchange admin does not need to touch anything on the storage console. He's just failing over his databases without having any touch with the storage. And even if he's on the remote side, he can fail over the database also on the remote side to the peer node, which is the node number 4. It just says activate mailbox database. Off we go into the cluster, we activate this mailbox database, and done. It's just that simple, and we change you as the customer 2 copies and make Exchange replication more affordable and more faster to work. And the good thing is we are not only saving capacity, we are also saving your bandwidth, because we only require the data to be replicated once to your remote site. There are some other things I would like to point out in a later session of this, where we go into creating bookmarks and all that stuff. So not only that we can replicate, we also can revert back to older copies of the data. But that's it for now, for just showcasing how replication works. Thank you and bye-bye.